Hello and welcome to Customer Creations. For this tutorial, I'll be using a 4mm hook because I've already have granny squares made up using this hook, so I'm going to continue using them for the project that I'm making. But you can feel free to use a 5mm, 6mm, whatever hook that you're comfortable with. You're going to may need a couple of stitch markers. Okay, you're going to need 4 different colors of yarn. Right here I'm only showing 2, but this is worsted weight or medium weight number 4 weight yarn and a pair of scissors. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start off with my lightest color, and I'm going to make a magic circle. I'm going to go under the top loop, pick up that second one, pull through, and take my fingers out. Okay, so I'm going to chain 2 because we're working the granny squares in double crochets. They're made of 3 double crochet clusters. So here's 1. I do count that as a stitch. 2. The chain 2 does count as a first double crochet. 3. Chain 1. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, 1, 2, 3, chain 1. I'm going to pull on my yarn tail, make that a somewhat of a circle, and I have 1, 2, 3 double crochet clusters. I need 1 more. Double crochet 1, double crochet 2, and double crochet 3. Chain 1. Okay, and so we are going to join it with the slip stitch up on the top of the chain 2 here. So there's the slip stitch. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, and what I'm going to do is I want to get to this corner. So the way that I do it, so I have all my nice pretty patterned definitions in the front, I go ahead and I slip stitch over this next stitch. And all I'm doing is I'm going into under the stitch and catching both the loops and just slip stitching out. Okay, so this next one is where I'm going to do the color change. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick up the new color. And I'm going to slip stitch with the new color. Okay, go ahead and chain 2. And that's the beginning of your next round. Go ahead and cut off the old color. And if you want, which I do, I make a knot. And 2. Okay. And so what I do is I grab the knotted part of it and I kind of pull it over just a little bit, just like that. Okay. So it's kind of like over to the next stitch here. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to crochet over these tails. So I'm going to do 2 double crochets here because the chain 2 counts as the first one. So there's 1, 2, that makes a total 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to chain 2 for the corner and go back into that same where I did the previous 3 double crochets. There's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. Okay, so now you can just go ahead and snip these tails. Okay, and move on. So we're going to go ahead and do a chain 1. We're going to go over to this next space here and we're going to create another corner. So our corner is 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets in the same space. 1, 2, 3. We're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and we're going to make 3 double crochets back in that same corner. Here's 1, there's 2, and here's 3. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and chain 1 and go to this next corner. We're going to make 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and make 3 more double crochets in that same spot. Chain 1, and we're going to move over here to the next space and do that same thing. 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and now work 3 more double crochets. Okay, so remember the double crochets, you're going to yarn over, go into the stitch or space, bring up a loop, and go to the first 2 and through the second 2. That's our basic double crochet. And chain 1. So now we're going to go ahead and join it again with this second chain. 1, 2 that we chained 2 at the beginning, remember? We're going to slip stitch in there. We're going to slip stitch under this next stitch here and under this next stitch here. Okay? And then we're going to introduce the next color. So I'm going to go ahead and use this kind of orange rust looking color here. So I'm going to go ahead and go into the space where I want to make the slip stitch, bring in the new color, and join with the slip stitch like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and do my chain 2. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut the old color off. Knot them up like I did the last time. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and work over these tails. So I'm going to pull it over a little bit just like that because I want to make sure that I'm going to catch it when I'm working these next 2 double crochets. Here's 1 and 2. Okay, so you see how I caught it and I hit that knot, chain 2, and now we're going to do 3 double crochets. So remember your chain 2 should be considered as one of your double crochets. Here's 2 and here's 3. Okay, so again the corner is 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 1, 2, 3 double crochets. And we can go ahead and cut these tails off now. And now we're going to chain 1 and we're going to work 3 double crochets in the chain 1 space of the previous round. Okay, so we're just going to work 3 double crochets in there. There's 1, 2, 3, and chain 1. So you're going to chain 1 before and after these 3, okay? Because we need the chain 1 so it makes an even spaced out body, so to speak, okay? Because if we didn't chain 1, then our work would start going like an angle, okay? But we want it to stay nice and even. So here in this next space, we're going to go ahead and do our corner. Our corner is always going to be 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochet. So here's my first 3 double crochet, chain 2, and 3 double crochet again in the same space. The corners are the only spaces where you're going to do the 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. Everywhere else is going to be a chain 1 and 3 double crochets. So we do a chain 1 to get to this next space here. And we're going to go ahead and do 3 double crochets in this space. Here's 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1 so that way you can get to this space here. And we're going to go ahead and make the corner, which again is 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Chain 2 and 3 more double crochets in that same space. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so we're going to chain 1 after the corner, and we're going to do 3 double crochets in this next space here. Remember, it's always a chain 1 so we can get somewhat into this same area as this chain 1 space from the previous row. And we're making 3 double crochets in this space. We're going to chain 1 so we can get closer to the corner. And we're going to do again the 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, all in this space right here, because that's the corner. Again, the corners consist of 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets in the same spot. So there's 3, chain 1, chain 2, and work on that second set of 3 double crochets to make the corner. 1, 2, and 3. Again, we're going to chain 1 so we can get closer to this space from the previous row, and we're making 3 double crochets in the chain 1 space of the previous row. 2 double crochet, 3 double crochet, chain 1, and now we're going to slip stitch to the top of that chain 2. So right here's 1 and 2, so slip stitch in here, slip stitch into our next stitch right here. Okay, slip stitch into the next stitch. Okay, we're going to go ahead and slip stitch in this one, but we're going to switch colors now. So I'm adding my next color, and I'm going to create the slip stitch with that color. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go into my space, loop my yarn just like that, and do the last slip stitch. And I'm going to go ahead and chain 3, 1, oh, chain 2, I'm sorry. You can chain 3 as well. If you find that the chain 2 doesn't work for you, you can always do a chain 3. Okay, so I did a chain 2. So I'm going to go ahead, cut the old color off, knot it again, and this time, same thing, I'm going to grab my tails and my knot. Okay, I'm going to make this a little bit tighter. Okay, and so I'm going to go ahead, and since I already have my chain 2, which counts as 1 double crochet, I'm going to make 2 double crochets in the corner, because this is a corner. It's going to have 3 double crochets, chain 2. Remember, the chain 2 counts as 1 stitch, so there's 1, 2, and 3, or chain 2, and do 3 more double crochets. Here's 1, here's 2, and here's 3. Okay, and now we can go ahead and cut these tails off. Okay, so we covered the knots, see?